Hello, my name is Barry, and this is my bed. Do you have chronic bed rot too? Welcome as we embark on Gypsy Rose Blanchard Life After Lockup Season 2, Episode 4. We're picking up where we left off in Episode 3 with the panic of a crazy stalker on TikTok that came by Gypsy's house, and now Ken is so worried about her natural disasters and hurricanes. He didn't come get her for that, but this is so important. He's got to come get her right now. He's going to pick her up because he doesn't want her to feel unsafe. That puts stress on her and the baby and him. But when there was a hurricane, he said, if you die, I told you so. He rushes in and sees her doing dishes. He's like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm just cleaning up. He's like, well, are you packed? Yeah. Okay, well, we'll put it in the car. He's like, why aren't you waiting by the door for me? This is like crazy. There's a stalker that's outside any minute. She could be here. No time for dishes. Gypsy says she couldn't really sleep the night before because she's just been feeling uncomfortable with sleeping or living at this house because the address is online. She also says that she doesn't need to call her PO for every little thing. Her parole officer, if he brings it up to her, she'll talk to him about it. But otherwise, she's not going to bring it up to him. Which, wouldn't you think your parole officer would need to know this information? But what do I know? She says she hasn't used her days yet for Ken, so she's going to use them now. And apparently, this whole situation is fabricated in the first place. From my understanding, the whole reason this woman drove by their house in the first place was because Christy told her to. This TikTok stalker had gone online and said that she heard things around the bayou and she doesn't like Christy because of the things she heard around the bayou, okay? And Christy's like, you're not even from here. You don't know me. You don't know the bayou, blah, 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 blah. She's like, I'm from the bayou. Christy said, prove it. And so this lady did. She got into her car on TikTok Live and then drove over to Christy's house to prove that she's from the bayou. Christy asked for it. And I'm not surprised this woman doesn't like Christy after things she heard on the bayou at all. I'm not surprised at all. Supposedly, all of this happened on a day that Gypsy wasn't even at the house like she's claiming. She said she was in her room, she was nesting, getting stuff ready for the baby. And she didn't even know until somebody texted her about it. Well, she wasn't there, supposedly. I don't know, but this is what I've heard, that this was all fabricated for the show. And in my opinion, to get an extra day out of going to Ken's. But she was acting kind of hard, kept looking out the window like, I'm just so worried. She was driving up and down the house. Gypsy and Ken are in the car heading to Ken's house, because that's what production calls it. I forgot to mention that. I noticed when editing videos that anytime they're at the house, like Ken and Gypsy's house, it just says Ken's house because she can't live there yet. There's a voiceover and she's talking about how your home should be a place that you feel safe, and that it's unfair that her safety has been invaded by somebody and has been taken away from her. And I'm just like, the audacity of this woman. What about Dee Dee? What did you do to her in her own home, her place of safety? It's disgusting. This woman is just, you're making my stomach hurt, Gypsy. She tells Ken that he looks really nice, and he said, thanks. So do you. Oh, thank you. I'm sleep deprived, no makeup, and my hair's a mess. I love every bit of it. That's literally how that interaction went. And I love how production left in that long pause it took him to catch on that he should say it back. He should have said it first, but whatever. Something I also recently learned, I need to correct myself in my past videos where I talk about them getting approved for the house. The way it was said in the show, getting approved for the house, all these things, I thought the house was bought. The house is not bought. Gypsy did not buy this house. She did not pay money for it. I had some assumptions, and I need to correct myself because there's new things coming out right now about their rent being behind. They're actually renting this house out. Now that this show is canceled, they're not able to afford the rent. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, but I was wrong. they didn't buy the house. They got approved for renting. I'm assuming Ken got approved for renting because she was on parole. Now that's out of the way. Thanks. They're sitting down in Ken's house and they're eating lunch, and I noticed that she's eating a deli sandwich. Is this debunked? But I could have swore I was told the 2 times I was pregnant to stay away from deli meat due to listeria. Am I wrong?
It's the Louisiana law that whatever marriage you were in, whatever last name was your legal last name at that time, is what the baby's going to be born with.
So they're sitting there and eating, and she brings up that she called the hospital and she discussed with them paternity, and it is a Louisiana state law. Whatever, you saw the clip.
So it's going to be an Anderson until the paternity test, and then
he's like,
we'll get it changed.
He's like, well, what if we're married before the baby's born? She's like, no, it's whatever marriage the baby was conceived in. He's like, well, what if we were in Mississippi or like Texas or something? Would that happen? So he's trying to find some loopholes here.
A different state and give birth to the baby. Let's just be in like Mississippi or something when the baby's born, or Texas.
He's like, well, we'll just have to do some more research on it. She's like, yeah, I mean, we can't. Our hands are kind of tied here. He just really wants to find that loophole. But he says to stay positive because it's not permanent. Like, I don't want it like this. You don't want it like this. I'm sure even Ryan doesn't want it like this. It's really just a big ha-ha to you. I mean, it's a big ha-ha to you too, sir, right? It's your kid too. Aurora won't be a Blanchard or an Urker. Alright, so then it cuts to the next morning, and the reason I know this is because production puts at the bottom of the screen, it's the next morning. First off, she's blowing up a medicine ball, or a yoga ball, whatever, for pregnancy, you know? There's a knock on the door, and there's like a doula lady for private birthing classes. So she's had an appointment. This was preset. But she said at the beginning of the episode she hasn't used her days for Ken yet, so she's going to now because of the TikTok stalker. But she already had those days planned if she has a pre-appointment set for a private pregnancy class. I just spit. That was my detective skills. Put 2 and 2 together. See what I'm saying? I think she was trying to get an extra day to stay at Ken's, and she used that as an excuse. Just my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Nothing really to note about this birthing class or whatever, except that I thought it was kind of funny that she was just like TMI the whole time, like giving this woman a lot of information she didn't need. Like, she's there with birthing class and to talk about the labor, and she's asking those types of questions, and Gypsy's just going on a woe is me story about how someone got a picture of her at her OBGYN appointment, and it's all over the media, and now everybody knows where her OBGYN is, on the bayou. So she's got to talk to the hospital about security, and this woman, like, it's just a pity party. She just wants this woman to feel bad for her. She's like, oh, Gypsy, that's so invasive. Just like, well, yeah, you should definitely talk to them beforehand about what security they can offer for you. Okay. Because apparently since that came out, her picture, now she's getting death threats and people want to come beat her up. Then it cuts to Ryan, and he's on TikTok Live doing a poll, asking who's better, Ryan or Ken. 5,000 to 1,500, looks like I'm better.
I get a lot. They're like, do a poll, do a poll. I'm like the poll guy.
Just Ryan talking to production about how much love he's getting online, which is a stark opposite of what Gypsy's dealing with. She's getting hate and wants to get beat up, punched in the face. She doesn't know martial arts, guys. She can't defend herself. His videos normally get about 1 million views, and his most recent video is at 7.2 million views, so it's good for the bankroll, he says. There's a free shirt that says justice for Pixie. He's like, but I don't know what Pixie needs justice for. That man is so in denial. He thinks Gypsy's coming back. He really, really does. And I mean, for a minute there, I would have believed it too. Because at this time is when she was getting ready for her postpartum days. A t-shirt that says Team Ryan Let's do a poll. It ends his little segment with showing another one of his lives where he's talking about how it would be so embarrassing if he was really the dad. They've had all these reveals, all this and that, and then I'd be the dad. Like, I would love to see the egg on their face. Gypsy did not like this. This is what's setting her off because he keeps speculating. And apparently some video comes out of Ryan and some woman, and she's just like twerking on him, and he smacks her ass or something, and Gypsy gets jealous. And she goes live, and she's talking about how he's always live saying, that's my wife, that's my wife, that's my wife. While I look at that video of him slapping that girl's ass, I'm like, that's my husband. That's my husband. That slapping that girl's ass, that's my husband. Cut to Ken and Gypsy, and she's walking in the kitchen, looking at her phone, smiling real big. Ryan clapped back at my video. When are you guys just going to stop with this? I mean, this back and forth, back and forth. I mean, it's more him than you. What, are you scared, Ken? Because you're starting to accuse her or something. You're like, oh, it's more him than you, though. He got a little feisty there.
Back at him.
When are you guys just gonna stop this, like back and forth, back and forth?
Like when the divorce is final.
I get this gut feeling that it's still not gonna stop.
She says it'll probably end when the divorce is final. And he's like, why do I have this feeling that it's not? And she's like, oh, it'll stop, but it has to be, I have to be. And then he cuts her off by starting the blender.
I have to be the one to be proactive.
What?
Go ahead. Finish it up.
Sorry, I have ADD.
I have to correct myself again because I said that Ken stated he has ADHD, and here he says he has ADD. So my bad. Which isn't an excuse for being rude, really, though. I caught something Gypsy said. She said, oh, it'll stop, but it has to be on, I have to be proactive about it. She was going to say, but it has to be on my terms. And the cameras are around. She can't be talking like that, right? She used better verbiage. I have to be proactive about ending it. And he's like, oh, that's hard. I know that's hard, isn't it? It's really hard for her to just stop clapping back at Ryan. Leave that poor man alone. He stopped blending. He goes, okay, that's better. Like he just cleaned a smudge off a glass or something. I feel so much better I interrupted the conversation. They changed the topic to her labs she's getting done or something like that. She's doing her glucose test to get tested for gestational diabetes. And he says, you definitely don't have that because you don't eat enough. And she says, it's not about eating. And here, I thought she was going to spit us with some facts because having diabetes has nothing to do with eating too much or not enough. Actually, and if you think that, please educate yourself because, okay, I'm going to sit here and say that and I don't even fully know what it is, but I know it has nothing to do with that. I think that's a myth because they have a regulated diet. They can't eat sugar. I had a childhood friend. She was like 7 and had diabetes and had to eat everything like sugar-free and had to get a shot of insulin in her belly button. It was horrible to watch. Anyway, you can be born with diabetes. It has nothing to do with what you eat. Thank you. But no. She didn't say that. She said, it's not about eating enough. You need to listen to the rumors.
Really can't say that with the rumors.
Well, you eat.
I eat.
You eat, just not like super crazy huge portions that I would think a pregnant person would eat.
Rumor that I don't eat.
What rumor? Not what's
Next time.
I can do nothing right. I swear.
The rumors in mind.
I'll just be quiet every time.
Apparently, the rumor is that she's starving herself during pregnancy to keep skinny. She's like, try to keep the rumors in mind. He's like, there's a new rumor every 6 hours. How am I supposed to keep up with all the rumors? She's like, I understand that. And her tone completely changes. She had the upper hand. She was mad and had a right to be mad. So her tone of voice. Now she's taking it down a little bit. She's like, I understand that. And it's a more soothing voice. I just don't eat that much. I'm not a big person. And he's stormed off into the other room, all awkwardly folding a piece of paper and looking at some stuff all random because now they're in a fight. But she knows she's in the wrong. Gypsy's back and cut off with Christy, and she's calling the police department to get a deputy over there so she can file something for harassment against the TikTok stalker. She gets off the phone and someone on production in the background says, this is scarier now. She's like, I'm not scared. I'm more pissed off and annoyed. What if Gypsy had been outside? What if Gypsy had been getting the mail? It wouldn't have been good. I understand it sucks to have like your home videotaped, your privacy like that, but I mean everybody has that issue. Like I could go outside to my house right now and go out and get my mail on the street and somebody could be driving by on TikTok live and videotaping the front of my house and there's nothing I can do about it. To Ryan in productions asking if he directly sends messages on TikTok to Gypsy. And he says, no, I don't send messages directly to her. Sometimes I know when I'm talking that she'll see something, but no, I don't talk to the camera and directly speak to Gypsy. She's done that to me before. And he shows the video of her lip syncing to the audio. You'd have to be crazy not to take me back.
Have to be crazy not to take me back.
I was like, who was that to? It wasn't to Ken. He's a little excited about that, which I get why he probably thinks Gypsy's going to be coming back around. She's jealous of him being with other women and making videos like that. Deputies show up at the Blanchard home and they watch the video. Christy shows them.
I started my car up and we're going on a field trip. But I'm not 15 minutes from y'all. Since we all from the bayou and this is how we roll, come catch me. Come catch me. Come catch me.
Apparently, this chick has made up rumors about Christy and Gypsy getting into fights in the front yard, which I've heard these rumors before, and I didn't know it was this chick that was one that made them up. Which is funny that Christy is telling the deputies this. She's telling them, yes, this woman has made up rumors about us before. This is who she is, knows the account. But before, when she called to have a deputy sent over and she was giving brief information, the woman on the phone asked if she knew the name of this woman or who she was, and she said she was trying to figure that out. All of a sudden, the deputies are there. She remembers who it is. Oh, and in my last episode, when Gypsy talks about how she can't do martial arts, and I was like, I know she wants to say that she can't have a gun, but she's just saying that, and that's why she can't protect herself because she's on parole. But I couldn't remember what else made me think that way, and it's this scene here with the police officers when Christy tells them that she can't even defend herself, and Gypsy's like, yeah, I'm on parole, I can't have weapons. So that's what they're talking about. She can't have a weapon. Anytime they say and she can't defend herself, it's because she can't own a weapon or a gun because she's on parole and she's a felon. A felon cannot own a gun. So they basically say they're going to run her information, see if there's anything on her, and then go talk to her, basically. And if you have any questions, just call or email. They say bye. And Christy says, nice seeing you again. Or it was good seeing you. She says it was good seeing you to the one cop like in the background that's there. That gave me the impression that they know each other, which is something that is could be very well true being in a small town. Note that for later. Again, Chrissy's being interviewed and she says defend herself and she's pregnant. You know, like if you would think, oh, they're saying she can't defend herself because she's pregnant. No, she can't defend herself because she can't own a gun and she's pregnant. Chrissy said if she would have been home, it would have turned out a lot differently and it wouldn't have turned out good. Was that a threat on national television, Christy Blanchard? Interessante. Ryan, and he's on live again, doing another poll. This time, who do you think is the dad, me or Ken? This pisses off Gypsy, of course. Cuts to her, and she's tired of him speculating. It's getting annoying. She says she is going to get a paternity test done before Aurora is born, so that way she can put the speculating of Ryan and everybody else to bed. They can all shut the fuck. Gypsy calls Ken to talk about the test, and he's like, oh, it's good to see you so happy or smiling. She's like, yeah, I just ate. Just to remind us all that she does eat. She's not starving herself, remember? The rumors. She tells Ken that she wants to go live with this information. And he's like, why don't we just tell the people in our life about it and just tell Ryan? She's like, no, Ryan's not going to tell anybody about this. No, this is going public.
On public.
I want to go public with it. Okay.
Public.
She's like, oh, you want to go public? Okay. And she's like, yeah, I'm thinking I'll do a live and I'll just say this. And he's like, Maybe just a post. She says, ultimately, she wants to say that I never questioned who the father was, but since y'all want to keep speculating and Ryan wants to keep inserting himself, okay, then let's do it. Because she's got to get the last word in. Then at the same time, she says this is less for the public and more for Ryan. Make it make sense. Why are we telling the public then? She says he needs to very kindly accept it and move on because she's been very patient and very nice. Absolute BS. This woman has no shame. The audacity is just down the street. She really needs to be studied. Like, seriously. Are there any psych majors in the Bedrotters gang? Where you at? They're getting a paternity test. And he's like, just so you know, you need to think about how people are not going to believe you. They're going to think it's fake. They're going to think it's photoshopped. There will be those people out there. And she's like, we only need one person to believe it. Then why are you going public with it? It's insane. Just go around and around in idiot circles. Ryan, and he's live talking about it again. Saying if he's a father, he'd take care of that baby. He'd be there for that baby. That'd be his baby. There's nothing nobody could do about it because that's his baby. She doesn't believe that I'm the father. And no one's going to change her mind on that. He really had just this beam of hope shooting out of his chest that gave him life this whole time. That hopefully that is my baby and we'll be together. If not, I'm tied to Gypsy for the rest of her life. He's the ultimate Gypsy Rose Blanchard fangirl. Cuts to Christy and Gypsy, and they're in the car. And Christy is saying that they're going to be there in 25 minutes, talking to the police officer. I guess they're going to the police station, and she says bye. And her tone of voice makes me think she knows him. Personally, outside of this scenario, Christy gets off the phone and literally forgot Gypsy's been to a police station before. She asks her, so is this your first time going to a... Well, no. Sort of. Since? Like, catches herself. I need to get a clip of that. No one's gonna believe me and I can't explain it well enough.
First time you've been in a police, no, kind of, yeah, since.
Police station.
Yeah.
That I'm not in trouble.
That's right, girl, you're not in trouble, that's all that matters.
Idiot. This bitch forgot she went to prison, forgot she was interrogated by police officers, and caught herself mid-sentence. Gypsy's like, well, it's the first time I'm going where I'm not in trouble. She's like, that's right, girl. That's all that matters. They go check in at the counter, and Christy says that they have an appointment. So why did she call on the way saying they're going to be there in 25 minutes if they have an appointment? Or was that her making her appointment with him because they get special treatment because she knows this guy? I swear. She knows him. The woman at the counter says, when you go back there, there will be no filming. She's like, yeah, we know the drill. Christy, like, you're so cool. Rusty Christy. They come out all upset because they're not going to do anything but go and talk to her. They're not filing anything of harassment, nothing like that. Even though Gypsy says she's drawn a fine line between what is legal and what is not. She's saying, hey, this is where she's going to be at. Come roll up on her. Like, but we all get what she's saying. No, that woman did not say that at all in that video. She said, yeah, come catch me outside, because she's like, yeah, what? I proved that I live here. Now what? It's like, I deal with this shit on the daily. People calling my parole officer saying I did something wrong, lying about me, and then they can go and do whatever they want and nothing happens. And then Krusty Christy enabling her, being like, yeah, it's messed up. That's what she said. It's messed up. Gypsy says, it's not fair. I'm just an average bear. Cut to Ken and Gypsy, and they're heading to the pumpkin patch, and Ken is very excited. He's in a good mood to go to the pumpkin patch. He's like, pumpkin patch, pumpkin patch, pumpkin patch. He asks if she wants to go in the maze, and she acts all offended, like, what, so I can get lost? He's like, no, it's for, like, families and children. I doubt you'll get lost in the maze. He warns her about the bumps and says there's some real bumps coming. Pumpkin patch! Was triggered. I was in a bad car situation for hours when I was pregnant, so she makes a loud grunting sound when they go over a bump. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna go into labor early." And she's like, "Yeah." And she's like laughing about it. But if you were to rewind to season 1 and just Ryan trying to give her a kiss while driving and she freaked out about it. They get out of the car and there's a voiceover of Ken talking about how she was just sitting at home watching trash videos, like people trashing her on TikTok and in the comments for hours and hours. And he's like, "Get off your phone. Let's get out and go do something fun." Her brain, she needs to be studied. Something is wrong. She's obsessing over with negative attention on herself. It's so unhealthy. Like something's not right. Something's going on. I don't think he realized what he revealed. Like at least to me, I don't have a psych background, but I took a lot of psychology classes in college and high school. That's suspicious to me. It's unhinged behavior. Biggest battle in the relationship is social media right now. This has to be so taxing for him. Somebody who didn't want to be in the limelight, all the noise. He says he has to keep telling her that it's what happens in their real life that matters, not what's on social media. They're going to pick out their pumpkins, and he asks if she wants a big one, a small one, or a medium one, and she says, "I want a perfectly round one." She picks out her pumpkin. She says she feels so rustic. I know she spent a lot of time on that outfit, prepping and planning it out to look just so rustic perfect for the pumpkin patch. He takes her pumpkin for her because he was making her carry it at first. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I can lift it." Or something like that, like trying to hit on him. Ew. They get home to carve pumpkins, and she says she's never carved a pumpkin before. Can anybody prove that? Isn't there like pictures of her with pumpkins or some shit? Like with the Barbies? He says he's never really carved a pumpkin that much either. And he kind of watches her do it for a second, and then she picks up a knife, and my butthole went clenched. Gypsy Rose Blanchard with a knife in her hand. OMG. She's like, "I gotta get my grip." He's like, "Do you want me to do it for you, or do you want to do it by yourself?" She's like, No, I'll just do it." I think she was trying to make a sexy time joke and he didn't pick up on it. Ew. Ugh. Someone's not getting any. And I'm pretty sure production told him to ask her, "So when you were with your mom, what did you guys do for Halloween?" She said she'd go to the zoo. They didn't get to go trick-or-treating. They went trick-or-treating at the zoo. She would dress up as princesses or animals. After carving pumpkins, they're sitting on the couch talking, and she brings up again that she wants to go on TikTok Live to announce that she's going to take a paternity test. And he's like, "I don't know if we really need to do that. It's not very classy. You know? We don't really need to be telling people our business. Why don't we just tell people that are like in our lives?" She just really wants to get her word out there. She needs the last word. There's really no classy way to do it, she says. I mean, he's like, "No, with TikTok, no. But maybe with a solid Instagram post. Like, we only need to prove it to people in our actual life." And she's like, "No, that's not true." And he's like, "Well, not like our family, but like Ryan." And she's like, "He's not in our actual life. I consider him one of the public." She says if she thought sending this to him privately would open his eyes, then she would send it to him privately. But he loves the attention, and he loves people thinking that he's the dad. And he gets paid on TikTok. He's being selfish and not thinking about how we're having a kid together, and this kid is innocent in all this. She wants to do this public so Ryan and everybody else can shut the F up. Production shows videos of everybody talking about Gypsy and how she was with Ryan and then left him, and within weeks was seen with Ken. Within weeks of that, she was found pregnant, and they're going over this detailed list that Gypsy sent out about all the times that she smashed with Ken in the time frame to make so that way you know he's the dad. Ken doesn't even want to share publicly that he's the father or not, let alone how many times you had sex in a month's time frame and when all your periods were. Whose baby is it? What? Whose baby is it? What? That's Ken as they're driving to the paternity test. When it comes to the paternity of Aurora, Ken, you are the father. Literally, that's what they're saying in the car. He's in a really good mood. Loves the cameras. She got this text expedited and it cost $1,900. That's wild. And Ken stepped away while she was paying. He like meandered off into the like side of the room or whatever while she was paying at the counter. And men tend to do this when women pay. I've had this happen before in my life. You can't stand by you like a man while a woman's paying. I don't know why. They gotta meander. She gives blood with a needle. It's all fine. He gives a swab with his mouth. She's all fine. She's sitting there and then boom, all of a sudden she starts getting faint, saying she feels like she's going to pass out or throw up. She puts her head down on the desk, and that's the end of the episode. So she was totally fine when the woman had the needle. She was totally fine when the woman prepped her arm. She was totally fine when the needle went into her arm, taken out of her arm, put into the thing. And then she sat there. She was fine when Ken was getting his mouth swabbed and she put the thing in the thing and then they're sitting there and then all of a sudden she's woozy. How does that work? I'm not a doctor, so maybe it can. I don't know. Obviously, I think it's fake. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. I love my bed rotters. I'm so happy we're here. Please comment any thoughts on Gypsy Rose. I love reading the comments. I can't get to them all at one time. It's a lot. But if you could comment, like, and subscribe. I don't really want to be one of those people who says stuff like that in my videos, but my last video did get a copyright, so it wasn't pushed out anywhere. It got to 1,000 of you, and then it was just like, we're done. So people aren't going to be seeing it. So if you're one of those people who's new here and you didn't watch it, go back and watch episode 3. You were probably just confused this whole entire time. Yeah, the comments, the likes, all that stuff helps the algorithm and it's going to help push out my video. I thought I lost a nail. I put on press-ons for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if I was being too quiet. I'm filming this in the middle of the night, the witching hour. Anyway, good night. Bye.